Howdy folks, Mr. Reed here, and welcome to one more question. What I'm going to be taking a look at today is the factoring of a trinomial, specifically one that has a lead coefficient, and I'm going to do it using a method I call logical reasoning. So basically the idea is I'm going to just take a look at the thing, make some, I'm going to say educated guesses by using some number sense, and hopefully luck into a factoring answer that we can then check afterwards if we're still a little bit worried about how I came up with it. I'm going to call this one a medium level difficulty, so if you want to see factoring done by basically guess and test, you're in the right place. So let's get to it. Alright, so we have 2x squared minus x minus 10 as our trinomial that we're going to be factoring here. So I'm going to tell you through experience, and you might know this too from doing a bit of multiplying of binomials, that this answer is going to look like a binomial times a binomial. Not only that, it's going to be one that has an x here and an x here. Maybe there's some coefficients on it. But what's going to go in these spots, I can use some guess and test to kind of get a reasonable assumption as to what will be there. So what will happen is the only way to come up with this constant term is by multiplying the two constant terms in the binomial, which is where I have my blanks right now. So I need to come up with a negative 10 by multiplying two numbers together. I'm going to assume that this thing's going to work out well. If it wasn't going to work out well, then I probably wouldn't have made it. If you want to know the secret, I made a typo when I wrote it down on a piece of paper in front of me, what question I thought I might use, and I got about 10 minutes, well no, maybe not 10 minutes, probably about 5 minutes into a video, and then realized that it wasn't going to factor nicely. Good job, Mr. Reed. Alright, so not going to have that problem this time. I'm pretty sure this one's going to work. So 10 factors, 1 and 10, 2 and 5. So I know that this is going to either be 1 and 10 or 2 and 5. Which one's where doesn't really matter. I'll fix everything else up accordingly. Now, I'm going to make another little leap of faith here at this moment and say, because the middle term is so small, I want my numbers to be close together. Because numbers that are close together generally will cause differences that are small. So when I see that it's a negative x, I know that I'm going to be using, and the negative 10, I'm going to be using a positive and a negative value. I want those positives and negatives to be really close together. So I'm going to put a 5 and a 2 out here instead of the 1 and the 10. Also, I need to make the first coefficient on the x squared term by just multiplying the coefficients that are in the two binomials next to the x. So I'm going to just switch colors here, and I'm going to say I need something in that blank and that blank, and those things have to multiply to give me 2. Luckily, I'm really low on options there, so it's basically just 1 and 2. Now, here's where I can make another smart decision. If I put the 2 in the first one, that's going to go with a 5 and be 10, and if I put the 1 in the second one, which would be corresponding, it's going to go with the 2 and be 2. So then I'm going to have 10 and 2 mixing. 10 and 2 mixing is actually pretty far apart. So if they're of opposite sign, you're either going to get a plus 8 or a negative 8. I want a negative 1. That's not going to be any good. So I'm going to place the 1. Now, I wouldn't normally put in a 1 like that in the blank, but I got a blank, so I'm going to fill it. Normally, I would just leave it as just x. I'm going to put the 2 into this spot, though. And so now my mixing is going to be the 1 with the 5 and the 2 with the 2. And that's really good because I can see 5 and 4 right now. And 5 and 4 are 1 apart. And I want this thing to be negative 1 overall. So I actually want the thing that's 5 to end up being negative. So when my 1 multiplies 5, I want that to be negative 5. And then when my 2 multiplies my 2, I want that to be positive. I'm pretty sure I have the answer. So I didn't really do anything real fancy other than talk myself through things that I thought would work out well and things that I might wanted to stay away from. I use this method pretty routinely when I'm doing factoring myself. I feel like I'm reasonable at it, but it's not like I always pick the right things first. So this time I ended up doing that, but it wouldn't always be that way. Sometimes I try something and I notice that, oh no, I was wrong. The middle term's not going to mix the way I thought it would, so I got to try something else. Go back to the drawing board. As long as you're pretty sure that it's a question set up to succeed, so it is going to factor, you can just kind of fiddle around and try different things. Now, let's take that final answer and write it as x plus 2 times 2x minus 5. And I'm just going to use distributive property, multiply it back out just to check our final answer. So x times 2x is 2x squared. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. 2 times 2x is 4x. And 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So we get 2x squared minus x minus 10, just like what we started with. This one was good. So I'm actually going to do this exact same question by using a decomposition method. And I'm going to do that coming up next. So if you want to see that one, just keep going, and hopefully you'll find that one helpful too. But like, subscribe, and as always, take care, folks.